What's going on, guys? It's Halen, and last week Bungie dropped more information regarding their season pass and what it includes. So I think it's time we sit down and talk about each product and what we get for what price. I think this is especially important for new players because there's some not so obvious things going on with previous content and the new expansion. So here's the new light content and its limitations if you're a brand new player. Of course, if you're a returning player, you're going to have access to any Forsaken content you purchased previously. And here is the clarified select seasonal content that Bungie was talking about before when they were advertising New Light. We learned that the opening mission of Shadowkeep will be available to New Light players. This is probably to get you oriented into the story and the world. All strikes and PvP maps do include the 2 new strikes for Shadowkeep as well as the remastered Destiny 1 PvP maps. New Light players will for sure be able to get the seasonal artifact and level it up. Of course, the higher tier levels of the mods or the mods themselves won't be available to New Light players because it requires access to the seasonal activity, but you can at least get the artifact and level it up, and in doing so it will increase your power level. The new finisher mechanic will be available to New Light players, as well as pinnacle weapons from Gambit and Crucible, and that is something new. It wasn't super clear if that was going to be available, but there it is. And we also know that seasonal rank rewards will also be available to New Light players, and we'll go over those in the season pass section. And if you want to hear more about New Light and my thoughts on it, please check out my previous video. I still think New Light players get a pretty substantial amount of things to do, and this should be fine for people who just want to socialize or casually play with their friends. I don't think those players are going to feel like they're playing something completely different, like they're playing Destiny from 2017. That's not going to be the case. However, I still think those players will feel very left behind without the Forsaken exotics or content. But for free, it's not a bad deal. So let's next move on to the new expansion for Year 3 Shadowkeep. According to the product page on Steam, this is what you'll get for $35. The new story missions and challenging quests, a new dungeon, new exotic gear, a new raid, and 1 season pass for the first season of The Undying. So these are the features or things Bungie is telling us, at least for this next year, and for year 2, honestly, if we look at this is quote-unquote expansion content. Now this is the part where I think it's very important for new players to listen. The Shadowkeep expansion does not, I repeat, does not include the Forsaken expansion. Currently, Forsaken is $40, and it includes all the seasonal content as well that happened in year 2. With New Light and Bungie saying things like, we're taking down barriers and making it easy for players and their friends to get into the game, I think it's really easy for new players to assume that buying Shadowkeep will also include the previous content, but that's not the case. I'm not really a fan of this, and I think it's pretty counterintuitive, even hypocritical to their New Light philosophy. You really have to pay $75 minimum to get a full Destiny 2 experience, or to get into the game, or the whole game, I would say. Maybe I'm overestimating the value of Year 2 gear, but there's usually a few staples that stay relevant throughout years and expansions. But for now, let's just move on to seasons and the season pass. And one thing to remember about the season pass is that it is completely a la carte and can be purchased even if you do not own Shadowkeep. So a New Light player can come in, start playing the game with their friends, and buy the Season of the Undying pass without owning or without buying Shadowkeep. This is something I think is kind of shady. I don't really know who would really want to do that unless you were really tight on money, but I digress. Let's move forward. Something new that Destiny is implementing this year are season ranks. This is something that other games, especially free-to-play games, have now. Fortnite, Apex Legends, or even Dauntless, if you've played that, have this sort of thing. There are going to be 2 tracks on the season ranks. There's going to be a free track and a premium track for the pass holders. Each rank gives you a reward or multiple rewards and varies on whether or not you're free or premium. Destiny Season Pass is going to have 100 ranks, and each rank is unlocked just by earning XP. Bungie advertised that internal testing showed that if you do a strike in about 18 minutes, and have a full stack of bounties, and I'm assuming that's just the Vanguard and Weaponsmith bounties, because I don't know why they would advertise doing a strike and you would have PvP bounties. It's kind of deceiving. So let's just say Vanguard and Weaponsmith bounties, and it takes you 18 minutes to do a strike. They said in about an hour you will earn a rank. So I guess it's safe to say that it will take about running 5 strikes and doing all your Vanguard and Weaponsmith bounties. So even as a new light player, you're going to get some of the same season rewards as pass holders, albeit at a much slower pace. For example, Season of the Undying, its rank rewards include an exotic hand cannon. It's called Ariana's Vow. This is unlocked at level 1 for a season pass holder, but for a new light player, it's going to take a grind up to level 35. But you still get an exotic, which is pretty cool. There's also seasonal legendary armor sets. It looks like there's 1 for each class, 3 sets total, and these are also unlocked at level 1 for pass holders, so pretty much instantly. But new light players, they'll get 1 set over the first 25 levels. And I'm not sure if that means over the next 50, 75 levels, they're going to unlock a second, third set, but let's hope so. Bungie also pointed out that there are premium track exclusive items as well. As for the season pass overall, this is what you're getting for your $10. The Vex Offensive Seasonal Activity, which includes 4 legendary weapon drops, additional daily and weekly bounties, additional weekly challenges for powerful rewards, so you will level faster. They mentioned that the same armor that drops from the season ranks, in order to get the higher stats, you have to go into the seasonal activity to get it. And they didn't mention this in the post last week, but I'm pretty sure they've said it before, that the higher tiered mods, or maybe mods, complete mods, are only going to drop from the Vex Offensive Seasonal Activity. A new quest for exotic bow Leviathan's Breath. So that's an exotic that is not tied to the expansion and is indeed tied to a season. This is also one of those things that they talked about will only be available during this time, and if you're not playing during this season and you miss it, you may have to wait 6 months or so for it to come back. And then the premium track exclusives include 3 universal ornament armor sets, 1 for each class, an ornament for the Ariana's Vow exotic, 2 legendary weapon ornaments, and I don't know if that new finisher means it's a completely new ability or it works different than the other finishers, or if it's just an aesthetic. There's also an exotic emote and exotic ship. Like I said, each season pass is going to be $10, and the first season is included in the $35 Shadowkeep expansion, or if you pay $60 for the deluxe edition, you will get the next 4 season passes. I hope this video helped you understand what Bungie is actually selling you, although I still don't like the cost for new players. For existing players, I think we're getting a pretty good deal. Overall, the cost for the game, it's been lowered and broken up over, pieces of content, and I think that gives us more options overall. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, check out my links in the description for my Destiny 2 PC Discord community. I'm Halen, and I'll see you in the next one.